After a crushing pandemic that cost the Latino community 32% of its businesses, there's new evidence that now Latino-run companies are not just surviving, but thriving. And Sandra Velasquez's pandemic-born brand Nopalera is one of them.
I just felt like I didn't have a choice but to figure something out, to do something and do it big.
So Sandra created a line of soaps and botanicals based on the nopal, the Spanish word for a type of Mexican cactus.
So is there actual cactus in this?
Yes, all of these have actual cactus.
Using a symbol of her culture as a selling point.
What is distinct about your company?
I overtly put our culture into the brand. It's loud and proud on the packaging. The name is in Spanish. There's a brown woman on the front with nopales coming out of her head. So I really did that on purpose so that when you saw the brand, you're like, oh, it looks like my mom. And I love that. People really see themselves reflected on shelves.
And why is that? Why was it so important for you to make sure that Latino identity was really central to your product?
Well, to be honest with you, I feel like in this country, it's so Eurocentric. When you see all these products with French names and Italian names and they're expensive, people just accept that. And I really wanted to fight this kind of stereotype that Latino products should be cheaper or should be in the bargain bin. I just feel like we have such a beautiful, rich culture and we are totally worthy of the same price tags and our community wants to purchase them.
And she built all of this.
So now we're up to about 200 independent boutiques nationwide.
This product is in 200 stores across the country.
Yes, yes.
Starting from her home kitchen in Brooklyn.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. In the middle of the pandemic, when the country's facing record unemployment, you are working not one, but 2 full-time jobs and being a single mother and starting your own company.
Yes, and I think it's because I just felt like I had no choice but to create something for myself.
Her story was once a common one. In the 10 years before the pandemic, Hispanic entrepreneurs grew by 34%, faster than any other demographic. Then the COVID crash came, and Hispanic families made up nearly a quarter of initial job losses.
Here, let me help you.
A loss that hit home for Kayla Castaneda. After losing her job as a consultant at the start of the pandemic, she turned to her roots.
We joke around and we say, when life gives you lemons, make aguas frescas.
And co-founded Agua Bonita, a twist on traditional flavored water known as aguas frescas, and the work of her grandparents picking fruit in the California sun.
This was a really important part of starting this business, was wanting to put our culture at the front and center in a modern way, in the same way that we are modern Hispanics, modern Latinas, because that takes on a lot of different shapes for a lot of people. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's just your grandpa's agua fresca recipe.
A recipe for success both she and Velasquez hope will continue for their entire community.
Is that in any way symbolic, given that you started this company in the middle of a global pandemic?
100%. Our byline is resiliencia es belleza, resilience is beauty. And I just feel like that is just, we've always been here, we're always going to be here, and we're always going to continue to grow no matter where you try to put us or throw us.
And be resilient in the process.
Yes.
Resilience no matter the odds.
Sandra's company, Nopalera, just announced that their products will be sold in select Nordstrom stores starting today. And while Kayla's Agua Bonita is still young, they've already had more than 100,000 cans come off the production line and sold out their stock not 1, but 3 times. And there are some really striking numbers to back up these stories. The U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce did a survey that found 80% of Hispanic small business owners now say they're optimistic about the future.